Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very special, momentous occasion. My name is Rohini, and I'm your host for today. And I'm hoping that you're all streaming this event from the safety and comfort from your homes. We're all connected virtually, and it almost seems like the new normal that we've adopted to over time. And these unprecedented times, of course, give hopes to new beginnings. And we're here today to unlock a new beginning with the trailer launch of Amazon Prime Video's first Tamil original movie, Puttam Pudukale. An anthology of 5 short stories, Puttam Pudukale, marks the union of 5 iconic Tamil directors to share their on-screen renditions of new beginnings. Each film has been created keeping in mind the on-screen renditions of this theme, but they've also been shot in this lockdown phase, thereby giving the cast and crew an entirely new experience of shooting a film amidst restrictions and stipulated guidelines. The anthology is all set to release across 200 countries and territories on the 16th of October, and we're looking forward to watching the trailer today. But before that, we'd like to hear from the powerhouse behind each and every highly successful Indian Amazon original content released till date. Put your hands together wherever you are for Aparna Purohit, Head of India Originals, Amazon Prime Video.
Thank you very much, Rohini. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to extend a very warm welcome to all the members of the press who've joined us today. The last few months have been challenging, unsettling, and difficult, but this has also been a time of great introspection, digging into our memory bank and pulling out stories of hope, courage, and resilience. These stories have kept us inspired, exhilarated, and connected. We may have been physically distanced, but so many of us have formed new emotional bonds with people. We found new ways of creative expression. And it was exactly with this intent that Putum Putukale, was born to tell stories of hope, courage, second chances, and new beginnings. And we are fortunate that to usher in this new dawn, we were joined by some of the most celebrated creators. Like you said, shooting these films amidst the global pandemic with stringent production protocols, limited crew was excruciating. But the love, zest, care, and passion with which these filmmakers shot these stories is a masterclass in itself. To Hasini ma'am, Sudha, Gautam, Rajiv sir, and Karthik, we are so grateful that you agreed to embark on this journey with us. And now, without much ado, presenting to you all the trailer of Pudum Putukale.
ஹலோ
என்ன
மோடி 21 டேஸ்க்கு லாக்டவுன் அனௌன்ஸ் பண்ணிருக்காருமா.
இருபத்தோரு நாள்
21 days. In a few daysல அம்மாக்கு 75th birthday. இப்படி ஐசியூல நான் கண்டிப்பா அங்க அவர் கூட தான் போய் தங்கணுமா? இவ்ளோ நாள் ஆச்சு. ஹலோ தாத்தா. பைக் திடீர்னு பிரேக் டவுன் ஆயிடுச்சு.
நீ இங்கேயே தங்கிக்கலாமே.
இந்த லவ்வை பொறுத்தவரை நம்மள அவங்க எப்படி ஃபீல் பண்ண வைக்கிறாங்கிறது தான் மேட்டர்.
You must have given up your hope.
ஒரு காருக்கு எவ்வளவு தேரம்? 20 லட்சம் தேரம் நினைக்கிறேன்.
Miracle do happens.
It's 12 o'clock, ma. Happy birthday.
எனக்கு ஏதாச்சும் கூட.
I know it's hard, but you have to get through this.
வாட்ஸ்அப் நல்லாவே யூஸ் பண்ண தெரியுது பேசுக்கு.
அப்போ ஸ்டைல் என்னன்னு சொல்லி கொடு.
அதான் 21 நாள் இருக்கே, எல்லாம் சொல்லித்தரேன்.
நம்புனே அதிசயம் நடக்கும்.
லாக்டவுன் இஸ் ஓவர் தாத்தா. வெளியே மிச்சம் இருக்கிற உலகத்தை போய் பார்க்கலாமா?
There it is, the masterpiece, a brilliantly crafted anthology with all the shades of life anyone could ever think of. It is indeed unbelievable to say that the film was shot during the lockdown, right? But after watching the phenomenal trailer, ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited to welcome the 5 creative masterminds behind this work of wonder, along with their cast members. Please put your hands together for the directors and talents of this masterpiece, starting with Suhasini Maniratnam, ma'am, Director of Coffee. Anyone? Hi, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be with you in just a bit. Right after that, could I please invite Sudha Kongara, the director of Ilame Edo Edo, to join us? And alongside her, of course, the star cast, Kalidas Jairam. Thank you so much, Kalidas. Thank you so much, Sudha. All right, up next, could I please welcome Gautam Vasudev Menon, the director of Avaram Nanu. Thank you so much, Gautam, for joining us. And with you, of course, I'd like to invite MS Bhaskar, sir, and Ritu Verma. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Right after, could I please invite Rajiv Menon, the director of Reunion. Hi, Rajiv. Thank you so much for joining us. And right after, could I please invite Karthik Subbaraj, the director of Miracle, along with its actor, Bobby Simha. Well, thank you very much. This is giving me goosebumps, this very screen right now. Welcome all of you. I must say it's an honor to be present amidst 5 creative visionaries and the super talented cast. I'm delighted to get a chance to speak to each and every one of you. Each film, of course, seems to have a unique storyline, characterization, and narrative, while being seamlessly woven into the emotions that currently resonate with each and every one of us, the audience. Hope, new beginnings, and second chances. I'm going to ask Aparna actually to take the first question. Hi, Aparna. Could I please have you on the screen with me for a quick question that's been really behind me while I was watching the trailer. And my question is, what was the thought behind a concept such as this? And using a unique format, for the first Tamil original movie on Prime Video?
I think the thought was very simple, that art can find expression and manifestation in even the most difficult and dreary times. And the fact that art must inspire, provoke, and connect people. And we're really fortunate that when we approached these incredible filmmakers with this idea, we got a resounding yes. If this filmmakers could make the films under these stringent restrictions, it just tells us that anybody can. So, that was the small idea, just to connect people. The fact that Pudam Pudu Kale is our first Tamil anthology is truly serendipity. And I'm really happy that this is ushering in a new dawn for us.
That's so wonderfully said. And I just want to say, you pulled off a coup, Aparna, so congratulations. And thank you.
I'm knocking on wood.
Knocking on wood, of course. And of course, from the fans, sincerely, thank you so much. Up next, could I please request Suhasini ma'am to join me and answer our next question. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining me. From me, from my mother, from my family, just want to say, big fan. Let me start with that.
Thank you so much, Nandri.
Yes, thank you. Ma'am, I want to take you back to the idea of, bringing a family together on screen. Did you have the cast in mind while thinking of your story?
First, I have to tell you, I came in last. I think these 4 people were already on board. And okay. I think one came last to me. And then when they wanted me to do a film, and I had 2 kinds of stories. And one story was similar to what Karthik Subbaraj was doing. I heard that there were some similarities. So then I thought, what about a short story that I'd written about 10 years ago about 2 daughters and a son coming back home for their parents' 50th anniversary, and the confrontations and the conflicts that they have, because the 2 daughters have lived abroad all the time. And when they come, they feel even more like, stressed because they're not there for the parents. That was my idea of a short story many years ago, but I hadn't completed the short story. Mm-hmm. Thanks to Amazon, I completed the story and I changed the son to a daughter to accommodate Shruti. So I wanted to have all the Hasans. I mean, I still consider myself a Hasan, Maniratnam, yes, okay. But unfortunately, a week before the shoot, my father met with an accident, and I mean, he fell down and broke his collarbone. So Katadi Ramamurthy came in. Otherwise, it would have been all Hasan cast. So it has me, Suhasini Hasan Maniratnam, and then Anu Hasan, Shruti Hasan, and Komalam Charu Hasan, my mother, who's coming into films after seeing Kamal and myself and Mani and my father and Anu Hasan, Shruti Hasan, and she's the newcomer into film industry. So it was a casting coup of sorts, but it was not difficult because we had these pictures on the wall for the for the set. It was so easy. I could pull it out from the album and do it. I didn't have to beg my artist, please give me a family photo, give me a childhood photo of yours. I could do that. There were advantages. There were many disadvantages, I guess. I mean, it was fun working with my family, except everybody thought I was like being very strict with my mother. I can't to be strict with my mother. I've been waiting for this for so many years.
Correct, absolutely. We've all learned so much about our own families and old relationships in this lockdown. Your film, of course, taking that a notch higher, fictionalizing and giving us this experience. So, Hasini ma'am, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thank you.
Sudha ma'am, I'd love you to join me on the screen at this point. Hi and welcome once again.
Hi.
I'm very excited about the fact that this is you and this is also the genre of romance. Let's talk about the idea of you wanting to explore this genre when it came to making this part of this anthology, please.
Okay. So when Shalini and Aparna approached me, it was about hope, new chances, new beginnings, happiness in the times of a pandemic. So to me, what came instantly was romance. I thought that's the happiest phase of a person's life, apart from when having food, I think. So I said, okay, fine. So if I came up with the story, I was going to do it. If I didn't crack it, I wasn't going to do the film at all. So then this just came in 2 days. It just sat there, and then I told it to Shalini. I told Shalini this, and she was like going crazy over it because she found it so, warm. And then I think it just fell into place. And romance is always fun. I love it.
That's wonderful. We can't wait to watch your interpretation, especially, you know why? Because most of us in this pandemic have also got a chance to revisit what romance is when you don't have any externals, right? And I think that's why I'm really looking forward to your film. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. And as you will, of course, join us in just a little bit, I have Kalidas joining us at this point.
Hi, I'd just like to say this is a huge fan moment for me because I've been like a huge fan to all those filmmakers who's right here with us. So, it's just a great feeling for me to just be amongst them.
Absolutely. I totally understand it. And we're trying to keep as mature or as responsible a face as we must. But Kali, of course, you're a star in your own right. You've been acting since the tender age of 6 and 7. And over the years, we've seen you experiment with different genres and versatile characters. Tell me, is there some sort of a guide where you say, this is a sort of character that I'd like to play? How do you choose that I want to give life to this character?
If I'm being very honest, I don't think we can choose because I just do what comes my way. Because there's so many actors and there's so many, very little characters to be played. I think it's already taken. So whatever comes my way, I just do it. And thankfully, I just got a very good, mentor like Sudha ma'am who gave me this opportunity to work with her. So I'm just happy.
Well, that's wonderful. I was about to ask how that association went, but thank you for answering my question within your first answer. Thank you so much, Kali. We'll be back with you in just a little bit. This is a quick announcement to all the attendees of our conference today. We are open for the media Q&A, and if you'd like, please send us a question in the chat box. But please make sure, since we have so many esteemed, voices with us today, kindly direct your question to who you'd like to ask the question to, and of course, we will make it a point to ask them your question. Up next, could I please have Gautam Vasudev Menon joining us, please?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Gautam sir. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm a big fan from Minnale days, so just want to take you back there first of all. And then, of course, I'm very curious to know what is the experience of working on a short especially when Amazon Prime Video came up to you and said this is going to be a short film format? What changes?
Well, I think I've already been there. So when the call came in, it didn't seem so daunting and challenging. And I think between Reshma and myself, we decided that she'd write and I'd just direct. Of course, it's not just direct. I mean, you still have to, give the script what it actually needs and everything. But she wrote it, and it came to me on a platter, and I just had to sit in Tamil dialogues and everything. But what seemed daunting and challenging later was to have Rajiv Menon sir's name, along with mine, or my name along with his. And then I worked with him. So when I heard that, I told her, I don't think I know, I'll do this. Honestly, that's the first thing I said. But she just said, come on, let's just go ahead and do it and all that. So thanks to Amazon for giving me the opportunity to put my name somewhere along Rajiv sir's name, So it's like, life coming full cycle, so to speak. So I enjoyed the process. And having said that, we went into filming with a master craftsman like PC Sriram sir, and I really looked forward to that. It was a huge learning and humbling experience for me. Actually, I've always been wary of working with the greats, and we have two cinematographers on the show here today, Rajiv sir and Suhasini ma'am, and I dare say that I've always been wary of working with the greats, but this was such a huge learning experience for me, and I'd like to thank Amazon again for setting this up, for giving me the opportunity to do that. And in the film, there is MS Bhaskar and Ritu, two brilliant actors who sort of, we just had to talk the script to them, and they gave it to me again on a platter. So it was a great experience.
Thank you so much, Gautam, for revealing a few of your own sort of inner workings when it comes to being a part of this wonderful production. And since you mentioned Bhaskar sir, I'm going to ask him to take the next question. Thank you so much, Gautam. We'll be with you in just a little bit. Bhaskar sir, namaskaram.
Hey, namaskaram.
Before entering the industry, you were always a very renowned theatre artist. I actually want to know, as someone who's watched you, does the theatre experience help you in choosing or giving life to a character? And also, what is the one thing that you think you will remember the most from this short film experience?
Yeah. First thing, I was not a theatre artist. I was a dubbing artist.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave more than 1,500 films yet.
Yes.
Dubbing voice.
Absolutely.
That time, I was very much eager to act in movies and television serials and very good stories. See, in this, the Puthampudu Kalai, you have to take this thing. All are very good directors, excellent stories in one thing. So, we can call it an assorted sweet box.
Lovely. How lovely. Beautiful.
Because, actual thing, I am a very big foodie, So only I am talking about sweet, tiffin, everything. So, okay, jokes apart. What is the actual thing is, we had to work with this type of excellent directors. Because of that only we can improve our talent more and more. Gautam sir is so nice. PC Sriram sir is so nice. No shouting, nothing, no this thing I want, that thing I want. No embracement to the artist. He'll give full freedom to the artist. See, what are you going to do, sir? Let me see once.
Correct.
Like this, he'll ask. And he will extract what he wants at the end.
Wonderful.
Very, very, very comfortable with GVM sir and PC sir and with the whole crew. I was enjoying the shooting like anything. And it's an excellent character acting with Ritu. A bond between the grandpa and the granddaughter. It is excellent. It is an excellent experience, and I want to enjoy the same experience again and again.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And because you said sweet box, I just want to say this is a pre-Diwali gift for all of us, who are fans of everybody's work. And I think my little limited Tamil, please don't mind. I would just like to say one thing, sir. Pramadam, sir. Pramadam.
Thank you very much.
Romba Romba Nandri. Thank you so much. And since you mentioned Ritu, I'm going to have the wonderful Ritu Verma join us as well. Hi, Ritu. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having us.
You know, Ritu, I'm so curious to know, you've had such a great stint, you've had award-winning performances, and I'm sure viewers are kind of wanting to know what is that sneak peek you can give us into your character, you know, in this short. What can you reveal?
I don't know if I can reveal much about my character, but I must say this has been a wonderful experience. I love working with Gautam sir and his team. I would never say no to working with Gautam sir. So when this came my way, it was just too good to say no. Working with PC sir has been like a dream come true. Bhaskar sir is such a brilliant actor, and we share a good bond on and off screen. And it's with Amazon Prime. So it's my digital debut, so I'm really looking forward to it.
That's wonderful, and we wish you luck, and I hope that you conquer the digital scape as much as you have the rest. Thank you so much, Ritu, for joining me.
Thank you.
All right, you know, Gautam spoke a little bit about being a fanboy. So Rajiv sir, I think the first thing we have to do is sort of acknowledge that, and then I'll ask you the question. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah. Gautam is one of my, I think, really successful and talented guys, great sense of music, great sense of style. And I'm so moved and touched that somebody who worked with me has done so well, but is viewing you with respect and things. So I'm kind of humbled by that. I'm grateful.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. You know, I do know that this has been a very unique experience for most filmmakers. How long did it take you to complete the shoot of this film? And was it different in terms of methods, given the restrictions, given the stipulations? What will always be memorable for you?
I think one of the things that I felt is that because there were restrictions on the number of people you can employ primarily for safety reasons, it sort of took me back to the time that we used to make films in the Film Institute, you know, I mean, like with a very limited crew.
Correct.
And in this particular case, we were also having, you know, a person in the cast who is not a conventional actor, but is actually acting really for the first time on things. So I wanted to use multiple camera. So with a very limited crew and 3 actors, so I'm just left with 1 lightman, you know, 1 camera attender. And so it's really slim production around it. And on top of it, I have a lady who's somebody I really respect a lot, like Leela Sampson. And I got to make sure she's safe through the shoot. So there was one element of, my God, nothing should happen to Leela and nobody should get infected during the shoot. So this was really worrying while we were doing. But the moment we had a reading, we found that everybody is really into it, you know, and the performances really started, you know, going up. And since it's a very small unit, it's very intimate. So I kind of really enjoyed the process. But I'm even more curious to see how others have interpreted the same brief, you know. So it's like, you know, 5 different melodies being composed in 5 different houses, which now are all going to come together. And, you know, it's going to reach like, it's like 5 different tunes coming together. I kind of really fascinated by that.
What a beautiful example. And absolutely, it's 5 different melodies coming together and building that symphony. And that's what we're looking forward to. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Up next, of course, could I please request Karthik Subbaraj to join us?
Hi.
Hi, Karthik.
Hi.
Karthik, we've all seen the phenomenal thriller Penguin on Prime Video. And first of all, I want to congratulate you on your release of that, firstly.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's talk about the experience of shooting in an unlock phase. You know, Rajiv sir talked about how he had to double up. Tell me, how different was it for you as well, you know, from the usual format?
Actually, it was not so different because I came from making short films, right? So I actually felt sort of, because during Nale time, I used to be sort of a competition where I used to make short films and my co-contestants will be like Nalan and Balaji Mohan. But this time it was Gautam sir, Rajiv Menon sir, Suhasini madam. So I sort of felt like going back to the Nale Ekner time. So it's actually very clicked about because Bobby was cast on my film because he used to act in all of his short films. So we actually felt okay. I think this Corona has actually taken back to where we started. So it was actually good.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. And since you mentioned Bobby, I'm going to have Bobby up next with me. And I have a request, staying in Mumbai, my Tamil never really reached where it was supposed to reach. But I'm craving to hear a little bit of Tamil today. And I'm going to request Bobby, sir, Ningal Tamil pesinala, I will feel very, very happy. Will you please answer my question in Tamil? Is that okay? Thank you so much. So please forgive my terrible Tamil, but I'll ask you the question. I know Miracle, the film, has united you and Karthik after your highly successful film Jigarthanda. We also won a national award. Tell me, how is it when this pairing comes together again? Are people expecting the same sort of magic? Is there a pressure?
While we are shooting, நானும் கார்த்திக் அப்படியே 10 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி போன மாதிரி இருக்குல்ல, ஏன்னா கம்மியான க்ரூ அந்த இந்த ஒரு சிச்சுவேஷன்ல. ஆனா பட் ரொம்ப நல்லா இருந்தது, ரொம்ப லவ் பண்ணி தான் பண்ணோம் அது பண்ணும்போதெல்லாம். ஸோ எனக்கும் அது இருந்தது. சூதுகாவுக்கு அப்புறம் நான் காமெடி பண்ணவே இல்லை, எனக்கு காமெடி வருமானது ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஆஃப் ஆல் தெரியாது. பட் நலனுக்கு ஸ்ட்ராங்கா சஜஸ்ட் பண்ணது கார்த்திக் தான். அவன் பண்ணுவான், நம்புங்க, பிலீவ் பண்ணுங்கன்றது. ஸோ அதுக்கப்புறம் அதான் இந்த மிராக்கல் பண்ணும்போது அந்த ஃபீல் இருந்தது. பட் அதான் கார்த்திக் சொன்ன மாதிரி அந்த 10 years பேக் போய் அது நமக்குள்ள அப்படி ஒரு சின்னதா க்ரூ, நம்மளே எல்லா வேலையும் பார்த்துட்டு நம்மளே இது பண்ணி அந்த மாதிரி ஒரு ரொம்ப லவ் பண்ணி பண்ணத மிராக்கல் ஆக்சுவலி.
Wonderful, wonderful. It truly is a miracle. Thank you so much, Bobby, for joining me. And thank you so much. I was so happy to hear someone speak in Tamil. Even though the brief for today's chat was in English, I just thought a little bit of Tamil would do justice to this wonderful ensemble of talents from all over. For right now, of course, I want to first thank our talents and our directors who've been with us. I'm going to direct this next segment to our friends from the media. Once again, I'm going to say if you have questions. Jyoti Venkatesh is here, okay, and this is a message. Jyoti, I want to ask you who you are directing the question to. Jyoti, I want you to tell me who you're directing your question to. Thank you. Okay, here's a question for you, Rajiv. How different was it for you to make a short or an anthology with your expertise as a DOP as well as a filmmaker? Would you please take this question again?
Yeah, I think, I was under the impression that as a cinematographer, I never shot my own film because I thought that it would affect my directorial space. So I would either be a cinematographer or this thing. But there are commercials where, I kind of shoot and direct. But because we had three, artists and we were working in a fairly large space, I had to shoot and direct. And I kind of really enjoyed it because it could be, there was a lot of handheld and there was a lot more intimate kind of shooting. And I kind of learned that I can do both during this period. So it was a learning experience for me and I kind of really enjoyed it.
There's another question for you, Rajiv. I'm going to follow it up right away because it's an interesting one. Because you're also someone who has been a cinematographer. I believe you're someone who fairly insistent about the way you shoot. So what did you go back to when it comes to making a film through that lens again? It's a lovely question.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've been studying globally about cinematography is that I find there's a kind of change. Globally, you're seeing a more natural kind of style where you're not really lighting up for the face, but you kind of light up for the general, the area or the geography that you're shooting in and not specifically putting key light. And that sort of worked very well in this case. We were not having lights around the actors, but actually pushing it through windows and stuff like that. So the space to act in is devoid of lights. And that in turn means that there's a lot of movement possible and you can cover two cameras at the same time. And so those were things that I was experimenting. There were times where I was actually doing 3 cameras. So I think I kind of really enjoyed that.
Yeah, that I think has been the biggest exercise in this lockdown, right? The idea of us being in closed spaces and then telling the stories without the outdoors. How does that change the visual narrative? Well, thank you so much, Rajiv. And if we have a question again for you, I will bother you again. Thank you so much for that. All right, I have understood that Jyoti Venkatesh's question is for Suhasini ma'am at this point. So Hasni ma'am, the question is, what message would you like to drive home to the viewers during the pandemic, or maybe through your film?
Hello to Jyoti Venkatesh. It's been a long time, Jyoti, since I've seen you. And nice to have a question from you. What do I want to tell family? I think it's time that we value the things that we have and not try for something that we don't have. Especially the SPB's death has kind of shaken all of us. And it's time we started recognizing the love and talent that is around us. I think my film is something like that. A family is concentrating on one person who's very special to all of them. And some people in the family have actually had some conflicts and confrontation with that particular relative, and they've kept away from that person. But the pandemic brings all of them together. See, we all grew up in big joint families. I mean, today's children are not, they don't have the luxury of growing up in a large joint family. Somewhere, I think the pandemic kind of put in that joint family, concept again. I think we should spend a lot of time with people we love and say sorry to them and say, I love you, because it might be too late. If you don't say I love you, and if you don't say I'm sorry, and if you don't say like I really admire you, it might be too late. I think my film is also saying the same thing.
How beautiful. Almost teared up there, but thank you so much, because yes, what you're talking about is such a universal truth. Do we really spend time speaking to the ones that we love and telling them that we love them? Thank you for that. Beautiful question, Jyoti. Thank you so much again. At this point, I want to bring Aparna in. Aparna, I think this is a great question. I'm going to take it to you. The question is, how did the anthology get to be named Putham Pudukayam?
Yeah, we toyed with many ideas, but I think it means Putham Khare is it has such a beautiful meaning, a new dawn, and I think it beautifully encapsulated the overarching thread of all the films.
Wonderful.
But we had to take a lot of inputs from all our creators.
Oh, okay. So was it a vote? I'm really curious to know. Did you send them like options on WhatsApp? First of all, is there a WhatsApp group with these 5 amazing creators or no?
We send them so many mails. They don't want to be on another WhatsApp group with us. We barrage them with our mails and messages individually. But we got inputs from everyone. We also sought our marketing team's advice, and it just had such a beautiful ring to it. So yeah, we decided to go ahead with it.
Thank you so much. That is the answer to the question. It's a fantastic question, by the way. Up next, I'm going to take this to Gautam Vasudev Menon. Interesting. What was the liberty that you took as a filmmaker while you work, in an anthology format? I'm not so sure what the question means, but I'd like to think you can make a little bit of sense of it. Is there a liberty as a filmmaker that you've taken while making this short?
Well, I think these ideas and scripts will not get to be in a feature film in the first place itself. That's celebration by itself, and your whole short division and everything. You're actually filming for the content and not worrying about the magic or the mood of the theater and will the audience be affected 10 minutes into the screenplay. Should a particular lengthy shot be there? You're not thinking of all that. So I think that's what the question is trying to find out is what I'm thinking. I think it's very liberating in that sense itself, from the concept to the length to the way you film itself, and like I said, how can you convince a producer about a story between a grandfather and a granddaughter? It's done 25 years ago, but it's not going to be so easy now. They're going to be asking you who's the hero and what the business is like and stuff like that. So I think that's what this means. Yeah.
It's a beautiful interpretation, and that's why you are who you are, GVM. You took the word liberty and made it about how it's liberated you as a narrator or a teller of stories. So thank you for that. So now the next question is for you, if I might please have you with me on the screen. Very interestingly, the question is about your casting. So you took Kalidas and Jairam sir back to the screen after 20 years. How do you go behind actors to find your characters? And this is by Rajivan Francis from India Glitz.
So I think you should actually ask me this question after watching the film, because it just had to be them. It just had to be like I would be giving you spoilers if I told you why I had to choose them. But the thing is, Kalidas and Jairam sir were fixed in my head. For Urvashi ma'am, I had to find somebody who was like Urvashi ma'am. And for that, that was a difficult search. And then she suggested Kalyani. And I went back and I looked at some of Kalyani's performance, and she was terrific. And once you watch the film, you'll understand why I had to choose these four, especially Jairam sir and his son.
That's wonderful.
And
That's
also, I've
good.
worked with Kali before, and I think he's one of the most amazing underutilized talents we have right now, and he's just performed brilliantly. And in two films that I've worked with him in, they're like absolutely poles apart. One is the other end of the spectrum, which is a very, very sad and very moody kind of a film. And this one was a very happy, romantic film, and he aced both.
Thank you so much for that answer. My next question is actually going to be to Kali. And I'm going to follow the same question up to Ritu as well, right after. The question is, as actors, you're clearly, there's a lot riding on you, and there's a lot of pressure because you've got to be in form. Your throat can't be bad. You can't have a fever. You've got to look a certain way. And when you see the pandemic, it's obvious that you have to put yourself first. But when the shot starts, do you forget everything and just focus on that shot itself? I want to know the inner workings of how does an actor deal with a pandemic, which is so prevalent all over.
I mean, when we shot this movie, we already had gone through 4 months of lockdown. So I was just waiting to go back to work. I didn't care about the pandemic or anything. I just wanted to work. So maybe I was just happy to be there in the set. But just that I spent 4 months at home seeing my father's face. And then I go back to work expecting to see someone else. And then I see his face. So that was not fun.
Correct.
But yeah.
That's so lovely. But yeah. Thank you so much for joining us once again on the Q&A. I'm going to take the same question to Ritu. Ritu, could you please tell me what your thoughts are? Were you the same? Were you also excited just to be back on a set?
I'll be very honest. Initially, I was a little apprehensive because I had to travel from Hyderabad to Chennai to shoot for the film. But I think it's the love for cinema that I had that couldn't stop me. So I just had to do it. And yes, I mean, during this pandemic, I think there's a lot going on in everybody's head, not just actors, but also other technicians and everybody else. But yeah, as I said, it's the love for cinema that, that's not letting us stop from getting back to work.
Thank you so much. The love for cinema just wants everybody to get back to work. I'd like to take the next question to Bhaskar sir. The question is from Manoj from Indian Express. His question is, what are the great joys and challenges when you're working on a short film? How does the format change?
See, there's no big difference between short film or big screen. Because acting is same. For the character, what are all the things we have to do, we must do, if it is big or small. Okay. So we have to enjoy the character first, and we have to express our feelings. So I don't find any big difference between big screen and small screens.
Thank you so much. How beautifully said. Because if you're an actor, screen should not matter, of course. I'm going to take the next question to Karthik. Karthik, you talked about being nostalgic, because it is a short film format. And this is a question that has come in as well, which is, did you feel nostalgic exploring the platform of telling a story in a shorter format yet another time? What was something that you really enjoyed telling stories in this shorter time?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I enjoyed a lot because when they actually said that we need to make an anthology film with the concept of whatever, the new beginning. So I actually got into, because we, as Gautam sir said, we can't make all the thing that inspires you into a feature film. So this particular film is actually inspired from real life theft that happened in Bobby's office. So yeah.
Okay.
So that
Wow.
happened. Actually, that happened during the lockdown time. So during the lockdown time, in Bobby Simha's office, there was a theft happening. Theft happened. So I was actually casually talking to him, like, okay, we should make this as a short film sometime. But then an ideal chance came. So from there, I wrote this film. So I actually enjoyed making a small idea into a 20-minute film. So actually, the process was.
I've got to love filmmakers because filmmakers take someone's pain and make it into a film and everyone's loving it, you know. But that's not Bobby at this point, no, because he must have lost something.
And the good thing is I made Bobby as a thief also.
Thank you, Karthik, for that. I'm going to get Bobby in. Bobby, what have you lost? What do people come and steal from your house or your office? Please tell us this story, yeah.
Karthi, so actually, I'm producing a film. So, not revealed actually. So, suddenly this quarantine time, I was staying in Kodaikanal with my family. So suddenly I got 2 months over. Okay, right, let's go. And something happened in the sleep. I like, okay, I have to move Chennai because there's a problem for e-pass and everything. Then I thought, no, something is wrong. I have to go to Chennai back. And my wife and my father, mother were shouting, what the hell? Why? No. Suddenly after somewhere, I got the e-pass and I started. The midnight and I came and I stopped the car morning 4 a.m. and suddenly went and I saw him in my office. So the door was opened. I called my friends. I called Satish. Day office putaliya arrivilliya ungalku appadina. Day alla putida vandukku. Then everything, the costume boxes, everything was broken and thrown out. I'm going watching and I suddenly saw the edit suit, edit system totally. எல்லாமே 3 times.
ஐயோ.
காஸ்டியூம்ஸ் கூட விட்டு வைக்கல. இதாயிட்டு அப்படியே வந்து என்னடா பண்றது அப்படின்னு கீழே வந்து உட்காந்து உடனே வந்து ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு இன்ஃபார்ம் பண்ணி நியர்பை இன்ஸ்பெக்டர் எல்லாம் வந்து பார்த்துட்டு, ஆனா வந்து கிட்டத்தட்ட ஒரு 7 days தூங்கவே இல்லை. எவன்டா அவன் குடிக்கிறவர்கள் தூங்க கூடாதுன்றது ஒரு மைண்ட் வந்து. அப்போ வந்து கார்த்திக் எல்லாம் வீட்டுல, கரோனா டைம் ஏன் வெளியே போடா, கரோனாவது இதாவது குடிச்சா அவனை அப்படின்ற ஒரு இது போயிட்டு இருந்தது. ஸோ அந்த டைம்ல அவர் சொல்லும் போது, செல்தல் கமிங் டு புத்தம் புது கதை மிரக்கல், இவன் தம்பி ஒரு ஆந்தாலஜி பண்றோம், அமேசானுக்கு நம்ம பண்ணலாமா அப்படின்னு. பண்ணலாம்டா, ஒன்னும் இல்லை, வேலையில சும்மா தான் இருக்கு, ஏதோ குடுறா வேலை அப்படின்ற மாதிரி. தம்பி உன் கதை தான் எடுக்க போறேன். டே லைக், பட் he inspired by this thing, but
Bobby, everybody just wants to know the end of the real story, not of the anthology, but in your real life. Did you find the thief?
Yes, actually எனக்கு ரோட்ல போற அந்த சுத்துற எல்லாருமே சண்டே வந்து எல்லாத்தையும் பிடிச்சி உள்ள போட்டேன். எல்லாம் தூக்கி உட்கார வைங்கடாவன்னு சொல்லிட்டு எல்லாம் விசாரிச்சா இன்னும் டிஃப்ரெண்ட் ஸ்டோரிஸா எனக்கு வந்துட்டு இருந்தது. ஆக்சுவலி போலீஸ்க்கே ஒரு புது கதையெல்லாம் கிடைச்சது. 4 மணி எதுக்குடா வர இந்த தெருவுக்குள்ள லைட் ஹெட்லைட் ஆஃப் பண்ணி இஸ் கமிங் இன் மை ஸ்ட்ரீட் வரும்போது ஹெட்லைட் ஆஃப் அப்படின்னு அவனுக்கு பிடிச்சி பார்த்தா அது ஒரு பெரிய இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங் ஸ்டோரி. அதுக்கு ஆக்சுவலி வந்து கமல் சாருக்கும் நன்றி சொல்லலாம், அந்த கமல் சாரோட மேனேஜர் மூர்த்தி சாருக்கும் நன்றி சொல்லணும். ஏன்னா அவனை அப்படி பேக்வர்ட் பண்ணிருக்கோம், யாருன்னு கண்டுபிடிக்கும் அது ஒரு பெரிய ஹிஸ்டரி வெளியே வருது. ஏன் திருட்ட தாண்டி ஆபீஸ் தெஃப்ட தாண்டி அது பெரிய தெஃப்டா இருக்காது. அந்த மாதிரி கதைகள் எல்லாம் நிறைய கிடைக்கும்.
You know, Bobby, as you tell me this story, there is, of course, the sort of laughter that, because it's a great story and, of course, it makes a wonderful story. But at the same time, it also gives me a glimpse into what a hard time the pandemic was for people. I know for a fact that even in Mumbai, I've heard of stories where people who were caught being thieves were not thieves in the first place. They just had a tough time in the pandemic. And I think this is a great time to, go into a sort of message or something that you've learned. And I'm going to take this to everybody around. I'm going to start with you, Bobby, because we were talking to you only. What is the one message that you have probably learned or you've realized or you want to give your audience as we end this press conference today? What would you like to tell them?
But actually, open up
I hope I'll be able to translate it correctly. Message unga audience ku in the pandemic la neengal enna message kodukka poringa?
இந்த ரெண்டு என்ன சொல்றோம்னா, எல்லாமே சேஃபா இருங்க, இதான் சொல்ல முடியும் டு பி ஃப்ராங்க். பட் ஆனா வந்து இந்த சிச்சுவேஷன் என்ன கொண்டு வந்துச்சு அப்படின்னா எல்லாத்துக்குமே வந்து ஒரு வீட்டுக்குள்ள ஒரு பாண்டிங் கொண்டு வந்திருக்கு, ஒரு ஃபேமிலியோட ஒரு டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் பண்றது ஒன்று கொண்டு வந்திருக்கு. ரியலி வந்து கரோனா பேடா குட்டா அப்படின்னு கேட்டா பேட் இருக்கு, குட் இருக்கு. பட் ஆனா வந்து ஒரு மூமெண்ட் ஒன்று கொடுத்துச்சு, ஒரு பாண்டிங், ஒரு ஃபேமிலிக்குள்ள ஒரு பாண்டிங் ஆகட்டும், உங்களோட டைம் ஸ்பெண்ட் விஷயமாகட்டும், அந்த வேல்யூஸ் தெரிஞ்சுக்கிற விஷயமாகட்டும், எல்லாமே ஐ திங்க் எல்லாருமே அது புரிஞ்சிருக்கும்னு நினைக்கிறேன். பட் நான் அனலைஸ் பண்றது அந்த ஒரு விஷயம் தான்.
Correct. Absolutely. I also got that message from Suhasini ma'am, so I'm not going to repeat it. But Bhaskar sir, I think it would be lovely as you would to close this today for us and tell people what is that one message that everybody should keep in mind.
In pandemic?
Yes. What have you learned from the pandemic? What have you realized?
Yeah. See, we have forgotten our tradition, cleanliness, and everything, and antibiotics. We are moving on to allopathy. We have forgotten totally about the Siddha and Ayurveda, everything. That is again coming because of this corona. So we are all having, as Bobby said, we are all having a bonding with our family. But actually what is the thing is we have to be inside the home safely. I have to say it in Tamil, it will be very beautiful.
Please.
கொரோனாவினால பயம் மட்டும் வந்தால் வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயே இருக்கலாம். ஆனா பசிய சேர்ந்தே வருது, எவ்வளவு நாளைக்கு வீட்டுக்குள்ளேயே இருக்க முடியும்? We are feeling hungry. We have to feed everybody at home. We have to move out, but we have to be careful. Like our ancestors, they are all saying namaskaram.
Yes, absolutely.
And they are not shaking hand with others. My father won't shake hand with others. He used to say namaskaram. So we are going to the olden and golden days because of this corona.
And that's why I think I chose him to give us the message to wrap today's event. I just want to say, so beautifully said, Bhaskar sir, thank you so much. I just want to say, as somebody who grew up in Mumbai, quite divorced from the beautiful content that comes from the South, I want to thank Amazon Prime Video for making that bridge. You know, at one point, my mother used to always say, Vadi, Aurora Cinema, we got to go watch a film there. And, sometimes we'd go, sometimes we'd not go, but she doesn't have to do that anymore to me because I can just get all of the best content that there is across the country thanks to Amazon Prime Video. So thank you so much, Aparna, once again, for having this commitment to put out this content. I once again want to remind all of our wonderful audience members to catch Puttam Pudukale exclusively on Amazon Prime on the 16th of October. And of course, for our friends from the press, there is a press kit in the link provided to you. Please do remember to collect that. As somebody who never thought she'd have the opportunity to have so many greats in one frame, thank you so much. And hopefully my Tamil will be better next time. Please forgive me in case there was any mistake.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.